ikamva labantwana liyafa. Yabona? When it comes umntana iminyaka inyuka aze abe improve esikolweni, ithi loo nto iyadestroyeka. Yabona?
51% of children in that weakest performing half of schools are illiterate. So that's every second child is completely illiterate in their mother tongue after 4 years of formal full-time schooling. And when you have that problem, it's very difficult to remediate that problem later. So the first 3 years of schooling are meant to be learning to read. So in other words, you're trying to decode text to try and understand what the words mean. And then after that, from grade 4 onwards, you're meant to be reading to learn. You're meant to be acquiring new information through the skill of reading and decoding text. So if you haven't learned to read, you actually can't benefit from later grades. If you're a dysfunctional reader, you're only going to be like dabbling in the curriculum. You'll never actually be able to engage with the curriculum. So these children are playing catch up, trading water and never managing to get their head above water. They're just biding their time until they drop out in grade 10, which is what 550,000 of these students do. Now some people say, okay, well they drop out of school, these 500,000 kids roughly. Maybe they go on to do vocational training. In other words, not in the schooling system. We've looked into that. Only 1% of students of those 500,000 actually get some kind of a non-matric qualification, non-academic qualification, like a vocational certificate. So 99% of them are not getting any form of qualification whatsoever. They have no proof of their educational status. They drop out of the system, they become unemployed, they stay at home, they might pack bags at the local supermarket, for example. And those are the people, the first people that fill the lines of the unemployed. And that's largely how we have 50% unemployment between 18 to 24-year-olds in South Africa.
Children bleed out of the system. There's no other way of putting it. Because if you leave school at the point that many South African children do, you're not going to find a job. You will be the semi-literate people that you met on the streets. And in the rest of the world, literacy is taken to be 5 to 7 years of school. For most of the world, in the UN, for example, the UN figures on literacy are based on 5 to 7 years of school. That's how they measure literacy. In South Africa, children go to school for 5 to 7 years and they're not literate. So we're falling off global measures of literacy, for example. And this is very worrying. This is, for me, the measure of how education and all of us involved in education are failing the children of South Africa.
If you go into well-off schools, you'll see that the ideology in those schools is the intellectual life of the child is important. It's the opposite in schools that don't function. And as a result, what we're actually teaching children, without even having to say it, is that you don't have to think. You don't have to value what's, reflection. You don't have to value literature. You don't have to value thought. You just have to function and get by. Because we are functioning and just getting by through this system where we just come and put a book in front of you and then pretend to teach you and then go back to the staff room. Your thinking doesn't matter to us. And that is the most painful outcome of this entire system. And that is why, no matter what anyone says in government about we are improving the system, until that ideology, that implicit, unstated ideology is completely confronted and done away with, there is absolutely no reason to believe that the education system is doing anything in this country except undereducating children.
That's something that, that needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed with a radical overhaul of the educational system. And it's not going to happen, probably not going to happen, if we let the state do it on its own. We need to We need to start engaging in activities as a people, right? And creating power through solidarity, acts of solidarity, so that the government doesn't end up doing whatever it wants.
Welcome to Greatness Education.
It's just a click away. It demands that we bring our schools and libraries into the 21st century.
We're born with a natural curiosity, and we have an open mind. We want to learn things. We want to learn how to feel things and what they do to our senses.